Good morning, welcome back to another exciting Monday morning here at casa.texpina. We're really starting to wind down. I guess we're definitely in the finishing stages. The only people on site today are our painters. So we've got 4 painters and 1 labor guy that's helping to clean up around this place. Let's walk around and see what everybody's working on this morning, and let's get started. All right, good morning. We are back on site, and let's take a look and see what our painters are working on this morning. Let's see, we've taken some of the drawers that were left over here to dry over the weekend. They're back across the street. We'll take a look at that in a moment. First, here in the pantry area, Mr. Ricky is continuing with the wood putty, locally known as Macias. Putting that all on the cabinets to fill in the wood grain as best as possible, get a smooth working surface, and that will be sanded and painted soon. And similar work being done out here in the utility room. Mr. Stanley is putting on the paint. A little bit of sanding before he puts on the next coat of paint here in the utility room. We've got all of our cabinets painted, at least the first rough coat, and now he's going to go back and sand it down, get it nice and smooth again before putting on the next coat of paint. And across the street, you can see Mr. Tantan or Mr. Jonathan over here helping out, doing a lot of site cleanup as we start consolidating all of the work materials, stuff that they no longer need, that will be transported off-site. And Mr. Ricky and Mr. Henry's around here somewhere, are working still on the drawers for the kitchen island and other locations. Mr. JR, are you gonna start airbrushing today? Yeah? He's very quiet.
Miss Emie, is that a bag of weed I see in your hand? Yeah.
Somebody got to give her a hard time. So the easiest time to start pulling out the weeds when we get started is when we're out here watering. So as we're watering and walking around, you start pulling out the little weeds that definitely don't belong, such as this little guy here, and try to get them all the way by the root. Don't just throw them on top of the grass, they'll reseed themselves. So yeah, kind of hard to find the weed killer here locally, huh? You got to know what the brand is or what the chemical name is, and then try to find a place to go get it, or talk to a landscaper. Everything is very compartmentalized. So all right, we're gonna keep on watering the yard this morning and afternoon. This is routine, at least until the yard gets settled and gets established. You can already tell a lot of the grass is really starting to grow in. So brand new mic adapter, and it's still cut out. Okay, so let's take a look here in the bedroom number 3. We look like we've got the shelves had the wood putty put on them, just as Mr. Henry is working his way through the Jack and Jill bathrooms here in the lavatory for bedroom number 2. He is putting the same material. It's an acrylic wood putty, or an acrylic putty. Use it as a filler. Take a look out here. Looks like he had, Let me back up a little bit. Now in the powder room in the hallway, he's already done the macias on the under sink cabinet. Come on back out into the kitchen. Take a look over here in the pantry area. Yep, Mr. Ricky has finished doing the macias on the pantry cabinet all the way from floor to ceiling. Looking good so far. That'll get sanded on later before this painting begins. Go out here, take a look in the utility room, see what Mr. Stanley is working on. All right, we're starting to put the color, final color on the wood here. So we're getting that gray border at the top, same as we have in the kitchen. Starting to look good. So this first coat here. Come back. Let's go take a look across the street, see what Mr. JR is working on. There goes Mr. Jonathan back inside. Looks like Mr. JR is starting to do some of the spraying, as they call it. I call it doing airbrushing. They call it spraying. So we're working on the last sets of drawers for the kitchen island, as well as the coat closet in the hallway. And y'all can't hear it now since the audio cut out, but the air compressor there is an electric air compressor. Very, very quiet. Stand right next to it and have a full conversation and not have to yell at each other. Very nice. One other thing being worked on, once the air conditioners got put into place, we've asked our labor guy here, Mr. Tanta and Mr. Jonathan, to go back and seal up the holes surrounding where the pipes and the plumbing goes into the house. As we didn't want to leave those big open squares, such as, you can see one a little bit up there. Definitely see it up there where it goes into the roof line. So we wanted to close those up as best as possible before they get back over here and finish up on the painting. So that's what Mr. Jonathan's been going to start working on for us. Alright, now that the landscaping is done, our painters can go back and start putting on the second coat from about the windows down. When they went through the first time, they did the first coat, went back around and did the second coat, but only down to about the windows because they didn't want to bother with this area down here, just in case the landscapers made a mess. They didn't want to waste the paint on it. So what we're doing now is going back and going to repaint, put the second coat of paint on the lower half, the lower quarter. Mr. Jonathan's helping out with that. All right, step one of getting this cleaned up a little bit. This is a work in progress, folks. Don't criticize it too much. We went and found some 1-inch flex conduit. So we got 1-inch flex conduit, and I'm trying to cover up what I can. Tomorrow, the folks that did our air condition installs and utilized this vinyl wrap that you see on the pipes here on the insulation, they're going to drop us off a roll tomorrow. We're going to purchase it from them, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up starting on the bottom. So I'm going to wrap this, I'm going to start on the bottom and work my way up. That way if water does get on it, it all sheets down on the outside. So that's the plan, and most of the rest of this will be fine. The ATS cable is thick. Looks like it is meant to be outside in the elements. The 6-gauge wire, the insulation on it looks fairly thick as well. I don't see a problem with it being UV, out in the UV rays all the time, but I will go do a little research on it and see what we got here. Boston 14 millimeters 6 American gauge wire. That's what we're looking at, so I'm gonna go look it up. It says made here in the Philippines. Good up to, what does it say here, 90 degrees centigrade. Yeah, shouldn't be a problem, but I'll go take a look, do a little internet search, see what I can find. We're still working on some different kinds of chocks for our wheels. These are just obviously interim workings. That way when it does kick on, this thing vibrates a lot when it initially kicks on, but after it's running, sits smooth. So the initial vibration, I'm just trying to keep it from rocking itself off of the platform. I do have a couple of different variations of caster wheel locks that are coming in the mail. They just haven't gotten here yet. So that's something else we're working on in the near future. And so this is a work in progress, and I'll be working on this some more probably tomorrow afternoon. All right, Mr. Stanley is done in here for today. Paint's all wet, so we got to wait for it to dry before we can put on any kind of a second coat. But this is the initial look. Just imagine that we're going to have doors here, over here, a couple doors here, and all down here. So I'm guessing, I know Emmy hates it when I guess, we might be able to get the washer and dryer put in soon. I'll just leave it at that, soon. I won't say how soon, but soon. So coming along. As you can see, we're definitely in the finishing stages. Lots of painting, inside, out, touch-ups, little things. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. I'm getting more and more of the drawers completed. You can see as Mr. JR keeps bringing over the drawers that he's finished with. Take a look here in the office. You can already see where the guys have been doing a little bit of touch-up paint here in the corner. What it was is some of the paint bubbled when they were trying to do a little bit of masking, and they pulled the masking tape off and it bubbled the paint. Yes, unfortunately, they do not have the blue masking tape, the painter's tape, anywhere here in country, or sorry, at least not here in Pampanga. If I go to any of the big box hardware stores and I ask them for blue masking tape, I get the deer in the headlight look. So unfortunately, with the masking tape, what we have been using is just a regular standard 1/2-inch masking tape. This is primarily what they utilize for doing any kind of masking work, anything to do with tape. So we have looked at, me and Miss Emie have looked probably for about 3 weeks solid. We've looked at Ace Hardware, we've looked at Builders Hardware, we've looked at Wilcon Depot, which is kind of like a big, that's one of the biggest of the big box stores. We've looked at CW Home Depot, we've looked at MC Home Depot. You name a Home Depot, we've looked at it, and they don't carry the blue or even the green masking tape for painter's tape, which has less adhesive on the back so it doesn't pull the tape out with it. Yeah, no such animal in these parts. I'll have to look on Lazada, which is the Chinese Amazon that works very well here in the Philippines. As long as you know what the generic name of it is, not a specific name brand, you may be able to find the right product. Well, folks, it's the afternoon and time for me and Miss Emie to do the watering again. At least until we get some good rain. It keeps threatening like it's gonna rain. Get over here and look at the other side of the house. We get these nice dark clouds way back off in the distance, but yeah, no rain. Gets nice and cool though. So in the interim, we just keep watering and the grass keeps growing. At least it's growing. We are starting to see the plugs starting to blend together a little bit. Looking good so far. So we're going to keep this running. They said after about a month it'll all grow together. Wait and see, says I. Well folks, it's just about yabba dabba do time. I think we're going to call it a day. Well, at least the workers are going to call it a day. Miss Emie and I are going to stick around and continue watering the grass. So if y'all like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see some more of these videos, hit the casa.texpina star right over here. You'll be subscribed. Hit the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be notified of our next video upload for your viewing pleasure. So until we see you again tomorrow, have a great afternoon and God bless.